Is this okay if we talk about this,
No.
Rose, until there's like not a lot of people here? If we just the three of us, are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Trying to remember the sequence of events, but I may not remember it in exact order. But whatever happened, she started posting pictures of her and Kelly J at a fundraiser of some sort, and there was a picture of her with her, and then she said something. She wanted Kelly J to answer her for something or reply because she had donated money to her, to her Let Women Speak, whatever. And then she wouldn't answer her, or she wanted to ignore her, whatever the circumstances were around that. And then she turned around and said, "Yeah, well, when we were there, anyways, her husband was staring at my tits, and I don't tell me I don't know when a man's staring at my tits because I got great tits and whatever." And you're just like, what? What in the fuck? But then, sorry, the worst part was she said, I'd have to go back in the screenshot, so don't quote me, but it's like this. If she doesn't do X, Y, or Z, meaning Kelly J, she's going to stalk her and show pictures of her kids.
I mean, I never knew about that. But I've just been in a few spaces and listened to her, the way she lets the bloody TRAs and blokes over talk all the women all the time, and it pisses me off. Plus, the other day she goes and sticks up a thing saying, lesbians listening patiently to TRAs.
That was the name of her space, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It really pissed me off because I'm not going to listen to these blokes. Mm-hmm. She encourages them.
Yeah, there's not, okay, so the bottom line is, then somebody found her past writing and her blog and stuff like that, and in that, it talks about how she was addicted to painkillers, and the mailman was actually her dealer because she would order the pills from like overseas or something in the mail anyways, and that she disclosed way too much information about, like, I don't know, sexual abuse or whatever. But listen, I know lots of lovely women who have had terrible traumas, and they don't use that as an excuse.
They don't advertise it.
Yeah, they don't advertise it, and they don't use it as an excuse to be a horrible person. But then, of course, she tries to backtrack and say, "Oh, I deleted that and this and that." No, it's, for me personally, no. Other women can do whatever they want, but I am not going to, like, I don't know where to forgive her, but I'm not participating in anything with her. That's all.
My reading of EJ is that she's someone that was deep in the trans cult because she has a twin who's trans, apparently. And
I don't think she's trans, Rose. I think she's non-binary. Okay. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, she says trans. She has said trans. I don't know, or non-binary or whatever. I think there's substance abuse as well. So I completely understand women not wanting to talk to her and or interact with her. Yeah, I completely understand that, and I do think that she's been far too generous and what's the word? Kind, I guess, to the accommodating to the I was in that space where the one that was called trans lesbian speaks patiently. Lesbian speaks patiently to a trans something, and it was just it was a transsexual that was apparently making a lot of tweets about her, was angry with her for not taking a more firm stance against women for our statements, and was like angry with her, and basically that space, a couple of him, it's Holly, and I don't know if you guys know Sandra. She also calls herself a feminist or gender critical, but she's really, I think, very much a trans activist. But they were in there kind of making her feel bad for not shutting down a space where like Lady and I and other women responded to a rant by this man called Amazon Eve, who said, I mean, his his dialogue was so filled with misogyny and vitriol and contempt and hatred. I mean, it was seething out of him. I think one woman said it's absolutely like oozing out of every orifice in your body, the hatred and contempt that you feel for women. Yeah, he was like breathing hard and talking about how women are so violent and they're much more violent than men. It's just that nobody knows it, because women are just so sneaky and they can hide it a lot better. And this is a man that wants to, cut off his penis because, he's obviously mentally ill. But yeah, so ultimately, EJ did, I think, finally understand that Holly was just being an abusive male and attempting to gaslight her and coerce her into conceding and acquiescing and submitting. And Sandra, if she is a woman, I don't know, she sounds like a woman. If she's a woman that is helping men do this to other women, I think she's absolutely vile. Women that help these men, protect these men, are being so actively, actively participating in our oppression and in our the derailing and the dismantling of everything that women have fought to achieve for ourselves as a sex. It's extremely disheartening and demoralizing. So we're having a space to kind of talk about that. So welcome. It's great to see you all. I don't know if you were there, Maureen, when in the other space. You might have already been removed, but I was sharing that, a lot of the women, or several of the women in that space, were sad because they couldn't talk about this issue with their close friends, and it's something that's so important to them. It means so much to them, and so to not be able to talk about this with people that they really are close to and that they care about has been very difficult. So I was just sharing that, my daughter is very much a trans rights advocate. So I, of course, being who I am, I researched it tremendously, read as much as I could, researched as much as I could. And they all told me to educate myself, right? Educate yourself, TERF, transphobe, bigot, educate yourself. So I did. And boy, oh boy, as we all know, when we educate ourselves, we are horrified. I just wanted to share that I know how difficult it is. So I just don't talk about it with my daughter because I know that she's not in a place where we're going to be able to have a productive discussion on it. I still want her to know that I'm her mother and I love her and I'm going to be there for her for anything and everything. So, and I am. So we're able to do that. So that's what I wanted to say to maybe the other woman is like, don't give up your friendships with your friends that you've had since you were 16. Just, talk about other things. If you were, into gardening together, or you played cards together, or shopping, or whatever, just leave this aside for the time being. Because even on Twitter, like my friends on Twitter, my lovely female followers and the woman I follow, I may not agree with them on every issue, but I'm not going to, argue and about every difference that we have. Even on Twitter, I don't really argue with women that I have minor differences with, or differences that I don't think are worth really arguing over. Yeah, is it G or G? Please do go ahead.
Hi, thanks, it's G. Hi everyone. Hi Maureen, haven't seen you for ages. I heard you say, what's made me come up this week initially was I heard you say about, I was in that space when that Amazon person spoke, and it was me that took the mic and said to him that misogyny is pouring out of every orifice. That was me. I totally agree with you about when women don't. Sorry? Sorry, I don't know what that was.
I just took the speaker away from Lizzie. I don't know if you know who that is, Rose, but I don't. So I just.
I don't.
Wait, you kicked her out. Okay.
Thank you. I don't know who that was. I agree that same as a religious atheist, I'm a gender atheist. I don't believe in the ideology that you can change sex at all. Biology is biology, and there's no escaping that. I think it is sad to hear. I mean, luckily, I heard you about your daughter, and I think you've made the right choice where you say it's a subject you can't touch, because as a mother of two daughters, adult daughters, not only do I know how they have their own minds, and there's no getting away with that. But also just with your own anyway, it's too close, and it can cause I suppose a bit like politics, talking that with family can get too contentious. But I do think it's very important to stick together, even when you have women, whether it be on Twitter or in your real life, where you've got the same focus, but you might have differing political views or differing what have you. It's like me now. I've started speaking with a few of the transsexuals, and I've learned a hell of a lot. And I've openly said to them that I don't agree with the ability to change sex. It's not possible. And they've been very, very friendly and honest back. There is a small element that are AGPs. And then finally, yes, back to your title, then you've got the women who do not see it at all. And there's a lot of misunderstanding on some people that have been transsexuals because they were introduced to hormones as a child and then pushed by doctors or parents or the woke brigade, if you like, and then the actual AGPs. So I just wanted to say that. But my mind has not been turned in terms of biology, in terms of anything like that. I do wish that women would be a bit more able to communicate a bit better. Then you've got the women who do not see it at all.